Okay, we're going to cook my stuffed mushroom parcels. Lovely, great vegetarian dish, and better get on. So hopefully you've got your pan on, getting nice and hot for the chopped up mushrooms. So we just need to put about a teaspoon of oil into the pan. Just give it a little swirl around, and then straight in with your chopped up mushrooms, your shallots, difficult to say, your shallots, and your chopped thyme. We just give this a pinch of salt and pepper. So a nice generous pinch of salt. And a good twist of pepper. And now we'll just give this a little stir. And all we're doing here is just cooking them gently, just to get rid of any water content in them. Just so it's not all mushy. Okay, so we'll just start it off on the high heat. And we can leave it in the pan. But I'm going to turn the heat down. I'm going to turn it onto the lowest burner, on the high heat on the lowest burner. And we can just leave that there whilst we go and roll out the puff pastry. Right, so hopefully you've got your block of puff pastry. So because we're doing two of them, we're just going to cut it in half, it's roughly half, and we'll just do the same process twice. Oh, come on, there we go. And so just lightly flour your work surface, just a pinch of flour, and just lightly scatter it over. And this will just ensure that the puff pastry doesn't stick too much. And then just pop the block on top. So a good little tip to get your flour onto the rolling pin, just dab your hands into your floured work surface and pick up your rolling pin and just rub your rolling pin. Easy as that, and then the rolling pin shouldn't stick. And we can start rolling out. And what we want to do is we want to be creating a big sheet of puff pastry, a square, a circle, it doesn't really matter, that we can wrap around and completely cover the mushroom. So every couple of rolls, just pick it up to check it's not sticking, and so that you can roll in both directions. And we want to get this really nice and thin. Go. And if it's sticking slightly, just spread the flour back over your work surface or add some more, that's absolutely fine. Just try and keep an even pressure on your rolling pin. That will mean that the thickness will stay the same the whole way. So I think we're almost there. You should be rolling it to pretty much as thin as it can go. I think we should be able to, if yours is, see, don't worry too much about the shape of it, but it's just the overall size, so we should be able to wrap up. I think that should cover it perfectly. So we can just leave the puff pastry here whilst we go and get our mushrooms. And so you can just give them a little stir, and you can see that whilst you've been rolling out the pastry, what will have happened is all the moisture will have just been cooked out of them. So it means you won't have soggy pastry. So we can turn the heat off and take your pan over to your work surface. Now we just need to empty the mushrooms into a bowl, and we're going to add the ricotta in next. There we go. And we can get rid of your pan. Right, so we just need to add in the ricotta. So it's 4 tablespoons of ricotta. 2, 3, 4. And we've already seasoned this, so we don't need to add any more salt and pepper, but just using a spoon, we just need to mix it together now. There we go. So you've got, your mix should look something like this. Okay? So we can set that aside and we can just build the mushrooms. So we do need to season the mushrooms. So I'm just going to go and get my salt and pepper. And we'll just give them a little sprinkle of salt, just a small pinch of salt. Just all the way around, and the same on the other one. And a little twist of pepper. Now it's just a case of getting your mix and spooning it onto your mushroom. So just divide the mix in two. We'll pretty it up in a minute. So just taking a spoon on each of the mushrooms and just placing it on top. And see how I've done that? And then what we'll do is we'll flatten it down with the back of the spoon. So just splitting it evenly between the two mushrooms. There we go. And then just with the back of the spoon, just flatten it down. There we go. Just pressing lightly. You'll be able to get more in that way. And this will be so packed with the lovely mushroom flavour and that beautifully perfumed flavour of thyme. So they're all ready to go. So we can wrap up one of the parcels. So if you take one of your mushrooms and just pop it down. And then now we just need to pick up the edges. Hopefully it shouldn't have stuck too much. I'll do it this way so you can see better. And then just fold it over. And then fold it over again. See, we're just making a little parcel. What we want to do is not ensure, if you have a look at this, if I were to fold this over now, we would be having about 4 layers of puff pastry. So it's pretty much covered now. So I'm just going to cut around here, so it's about getting rid of the excess pastry. And now fold this over nicely. And now just give everything a little pinch together. And it'll just secure it into place. Don't worry about making it look nice, because this is the bottom. No one will see this. So when you turn it over, it'll look like that. Okay? Hopefully you're following me. So we just need to repeat the process and roll out the next sheet of puff pastry. So you can pop your wrapped up pastry to the side, and we'll need to flour our surface again. So just nicely, generously flour the surface. I'm sure you can do this one a little bit quicker now. So dab your hands, pick up your rolling pin and just give it a rub. And then every couple of rolls, just pick it up and roll it in the other direction, and it'll make sure that you're getting a rough square circle shape, and also stop it sticking. Oh, okay. We're doing this one exactly the same, rolling it out so that it's pretty much you can't roll it anymore. There we go. Just going to spread some more flour over. I might actually dust a little bit. This was sticking. Don't be afraid to use the flour. It really won't make any difference to flavour or anything, as long as you're not just pouring the whole bag of flour on. roll this out. There's something very satisfying about rolling out pastry. It makes you feel like you're properly cooking, I think. There we go. So I'm sure that'll be big enough. So take your other mushroom. Hopefully yours is looking something similar. Yours is probably looking a lot prettier than this. But there we go. And then just the same as what we did before, we're just going to wrap it up. There. And see, again, the same as before. It was pretty much covered already, so I'm just going to get rid of the excess, just leaving enough so I can fold this bit over again. So just folding it up like you're making a very badly wrapped Christmas present. And now, same as what we did before, just sort of pinch the edges together, the joints together. There we go. And you can turn it over. It looks nice on that side, doesn't it? So we can bring in our baking tray now. And just pop them, the two mushrooms, side by side on the baking tray. And what we'll do next is, just to make them look a little bit prettier when they've been glazed with the egg, we'll just make some lines. So this is a knife, I mean, they're not expensive knives, so it's not a super sharp knife, but if you just run the knife over it, the indentation of the knife is enough. You're getting what I mean? I don't mean cut through the pastry, just let the weight of the knife run across, scoring the pastry. Just about an inch or so across. All the way across the top. And this will just make it look really nice when it comes out of the oven. And the same on the other one. And then we're just going to do the crosses over it as well. So if we're doing this horizontally, we'll do the other ones vertically. So just letting the weight of the knife do the work. Nice and easy. Oh. And then the same vertically. There we go. So just nice light cuts. All the way across. And lastly, you just need to bring in your beaten egg, and hopefully your pastry brush isn't as pretty as mine, and we just need to brush the top and the sides with the egg, and this will give it that beautiful golden colour that you're used to when you see puff pastry. So just generously brush the egg all over the tops and sides. Okay, don't worry about it getting on the baking tray, that's absolutely fine. And then the same on the other one. Okay, just nice and generous. There we go. Perfect. Now all you need to do is pop this into your oven for 25 minutes and then they'll be done. But when you come back, you'll be able to see exactly and compare, and hopefully ours will look the same. So 25 minutes in the oven and then they'll be done. Okay, I've just taken mine out of the oven. It's been 25 minutes. Hopefully yours are looking something similar to this. They've gone beautifully nice and golden and crispy, and they've got the nice, lovely little pattern on them. So it's just time to plate up. So just make some room, bring in a plate. Then it's just a case of popping one on plate. There we go. It might have stuck a little bit to the bottom, but that's absolutely fine. If you remember, there's loads of pastry at the bottom anyway. So pop that to the side, and then just a nice bit of salad next to it. And that's it done. I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to turn it on to the lowest burner, on the high heat on the lowest burner. And we can just leave that there whilst we go and roll out the puff pastry. Right, so hopefully you've got your block of puff pastry. So because we're doing 2 of them, we're just going to cut it in half, it's roughly half, and we'll just do the same process twice. Oh, come on, there we go. And so just lightly flour your work surface, just a pinch of flour, and just lightly scatter it over. And this will just ensure that the puff pastry doesn't stick too much. And then just pop the block on top. So a good little tip to get your flour onto the rolling pin, just dab your hands into your floured work surface and pick up your rolling pin and just rub your rolling pin. Easy as that, and then the rolling pin shouldn't stick. And a good twist of pepper. And now we'll just give this a little stir, and all we're doing here is just cooking them gently, just to get rid of any water content in them, just so it's not all mushy. There we go. So we'll just start it off on the high heat, and we can leave it in the pan, but I'm going to turn the heat down. Okay, we're going to cook my stuffed mushroom parcels. Lovely, great vegetarian dish. And better get on. So hopefully you've got your pan on, getting nice and hot for the chopped up mushrooms. So we just need to put about a teaspoon of oil into the pan. Just give it a little swirl around, and then straight in with your chopped up mushrooms, your shallots, difficult to say, your shallots, and your chopped thyme. We'll just give this a pinch of salt and pepper. So a nice generous pinch of salt, and we can start rolling out. And what we want to do is we want to be creating a big sheet of puff pastry, a square, a circle, it doesn't really matter, that we can wrap around and completely cover the mushroom. So every couple of rolls, just pick it up to check it's not sticking, and so that you can roll in both directions. And we want to get this really nice and thin.